Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Geiger. And up here today, I thought I'd do something a bit different. Um, I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 recently, and still playing it, playing some more tonight. I try to dedicate the weekends to playing games in the evening and throughout the week. Obviously, my partner's at work, so try to watch stuff on the TV just in case, the kids and that. But I'm loving Fallout 4. It is one of those contenders for if you could only play one game or if you only had 5 games on an island or whatever. It's definitely up there. I've already talked about this before, and I think it stays true. It is a fantastic game. Some people didn't like it, and I can understand the criticisms that it got. But you have to admit that it did some pretty ambitious things, and even it came out in what 2015 or whatever it is. 8 years on or however long it's been since the game come out, and it still impresses me just how big the game is. I'm doing the Far Harbor DLC. And even that's impressing me. I think I'm coming toward the end of it, and I haven't even done the main quest line yet. It's just so much in there, and I'm loving it. It's just got so much to do. It's a game that I highly recommend, and you can pick it up now because it's dirt cheap. I paid £2 for it. The next gen upgrade apparently is coming. I don't know when. Is it going to be re-released? I don't know. We'll see when it happens. I'm sure I'll inform you of it. I'm quite happy with playing Fallout 4, even if I go, well, I could still be playing this at the end of the year and still not have done everything in the game. But it got me thinking, everyone talking about um, Elder Scrolls 6. When is Elder Scrolls 6 coming out? I know Starfield is the next big one from Bethesda, but it got me thinking, Fallout 5. Is it going to happen? I could probably see it happening. I know Fallout 76 came out and a lot of people were very disappointed in it. I've heard it's made big improvements since, much like Elder Scrolls Online, because it's an online game, they can update it each month or whatever, a couple of months, add new stuff to it and stuff like that. But obviously, these single player games have always been the ones that take up a lot of your time because it's just soul experience. You don't have to worry about buying stuff or playing with other people. Just enjoy it at your own time. But it's got me thinking about Fallout 5, and I've got 5 things that I think Fallout 5 should implement when and if it happens. Because I think some of these things are really cool. Now, just letting you know that some of this stuff I'm talking about might already be in Fallout 4 through mods. Again, Fallout is an amazing, and much like most Bethesda games, are amazing for the modding community. And one of them I'm going to talk about in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk about is something that Fallout doesn't have that the Elder Scrolls has, and it's a very basic thing, and that is choosing your race or species in this case. And with Fallout, of course, Fallout is full of different species. Of course, you've got your humans, but you've got your simps, you've got your ghouls, you've got your super mutants, you know. And I think Fallout could really benefit from this because in Skyrim, for example, choosing your race doesn't necessarily make the gameplay completely different, but it will give you like access to like a special perk that you could only use for that race. For example, like in Skyrim, if you be an Argonian, you can breathe underwater, and I believe it also changes some of the dialogue further down the line. But I think Fallout could really benefit from this idea because think about, if you're a super mutant, for example, you're probably less likely, you're probably automatically going to be stronger, of course, like that high rad resistance and all of that good stuff. But obviously, you might sort of find that people are going to be a bit more afraid of you or less likely to be able to do charismatic things, and your character's a bit less intelligent. For a starting point, and simp, for example, you could do things like being able to hack terminals a lot easier, and stuff like that. What I mean, just simple things like that would give a bit more depth to the character creation, because that's one thing that does lack in Fallout, is you only get the one chance to really do your character creation. Not that it really matters, because once you get yourself a set of power armor, chances are you're not going to come out of it. At least that's how I find anyway. But I think that's something that could really benefit, and I think it'd be awesome. Again, maybe there's mods, I don't know. The next one is mods. The problem is with console is the mod support on console is lackluster, to say the least. It does have some good ones, there are some good ones, add your DLC, kind of like extra quests, extra companions, simple tweaks here and there, and things like that. But there's a lot of restrictions on what mods are allowed on console. And I think, the ones I'm on about, but the thing is, we live in a day and age where these sort of things are, if you want to shield people from it, then fine. But Fallout isn't 18 anyway. If you're letting your 5-year-old kid play Fallout 4, that's on you. Don't complain that someone did a mod with big boobs or sex or something, or ultra violent mods or things like that, because it's already an adult game. You don't expect to put in a Peppa Pig game and find blood and sex and violence, do you? Age restrictions are in place for a reason. Yeah, not always do we listen to them. I think everyone played Grand Theft Auto growing up, and it didn't do me no harm. I personally don't see that. I don't believe in this video games cause violence. I can see some people are more prone to believing in it, but again, that's a mental state of a person, not the game itself. But that's a story for another day. Personally, I believe that the modding community is great. It's just we don't get to experience that on console. And I know, why don't you just get a PC? Not everyone wants a PC. Not everyone has a PC. Personally, I believe in, if I paid 500 quid for a console and I've got the game in front of me, I can play that game, no issues. Whereas with a PC, you could spend 500 quid on a PC and spend £50 on the game and find out that actually it's not going to run properly. And to me, I just don't see the point in that. But better mod support on console. I think Fallout 5, they should just pull the plug. Sony, Microsoft, they should just go, you know what, we don't need to hold the responsibility of this. If people want to download these mods, it's down for them to take responsibility, because it's your responsibility for what you play, what you watch, and what your children play and watch. That's your responsibility, not a game community, a game creators. Simple. The next one, I think this one is a really good idea. Other places in the main game. Now, when I say that, when I look at Elder Scrolls Online, what they've done throughout the years is they've added in like Skyrim, expansion packs, and all of these other things like that. I think Fallout could do a similar thing in its main thing, because they kind of did do it with the DLC, like Far Harbor especially, where you go to a completely different island. It's away from the main area of the game, and I think it would be awesome to see that implemented into Fallout 5, such as New Vegas, even the Commonwealth, for example. You could go back to the Commonwealth. You could go to the place from Fallout 3. I'm sorry if I can't remember it, and even some of the older ones. Again, how this would work, maybe it will come into the last thing I've got to say, but I think that'd be a good idea. Again, how easy that is, I don't know, but if you went to like New Vegas, it would load in an entirely new map. Maybe I'm thinking too big, but Fallout 4 is a pretty huge game, and that came out on the Xbox One and PS4. Just think what the PS5 and Xbox Series is capable of, right? The fourth one is better companion option, because the companion stuff in the game is pretty useful, in the sense of you can do stuff with your companion. You can give them your items, they'll come along with you. Certain companions will will be able to do certain things for you. It actually is quite in depth. Actually, I've been reading the strategy guide. I actually forgot I had the strategy guide, but I was reading through it and seeing all the different options and dialogue options and things that companions like and dislike. But I think they could actually do something more with this, improve on that further, such as be able to, if they keep the settlement idea, because I like the settlement idea. Yes, I haven't delved into it a lot, but I do like that option in the game. Being able to do things like, right, I've got some companions here, I'm going to send you off to do like scavenging, for example. You're going to go off for 6 hours in game time, which might be 50 minutes, 20 minutes in real life time, and they'll come back and go, right, I found this and this and this, something like that. I think you can do something like that with the trading and stuff like that, but just being able to do it with your companions and even customizing your companions a bit more, being able to really choose and even level up your companions, being able to get companion perks, for example. Certain companions could have, like, let's say 5 levels, for example. At level 1 they've got the basic thing, like level 1 you could have a super mutant companion, for example. At level 1 he just helps you fight and stuff, but at level 5, for example, he can convince other super mutant to stop fighting you mid battle or something like that. You know what I mean? Delve into the companion stuff, because the companions are really good and there is a lot of stuff to do with them, but I think they could do a little bit more. And the last one, I think it's kind of an interesting one, and it does fall into what I said about the open world, big open world, and that is vehicles. Because yes, there are vehicles in the Fallout universe. Yes, we know because of nuclear bombs and all of this. But I think you could create your own vehicles, because you can create pretty much everything else in the game. You could make a bloody gun out of a bucket, for example. You could scrap a bucket and make a gun mod for that. So the laws of physics and reality doesn't apply to Fallout anyway when you look at it like that. But even if you sort of did something like it could work either way. You could have something like Rage, where you have the vehicles and have like segments for the vehicles where you do vehicle races and vehicle combat, or it could be something like Borderland, where you could just drive around in it, or even they could have like a big desert area or something like that that links the main hubs together. And if you drive off, you can't like walk to it, you need a vehicle, and then you can drive through this abandoned like desert area, and then you'll come across like raiders and things like that in vehicles. Customize your vehicle, create like your own buggy or something like in Borderland. I think that'd be awesome. What do you think? But anyway, there are 5 things I would like to see in Fallout 5. Are we going to get Fallout 5 is yet to be seen. We are still waiting for the Fallout 4 next gen upgrade. I don't know when it's coming. It has been confirmed, but they're saying that it's going to be hopefully this summer. Yeah. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Metal Gear Solid Remastered, the Mastered Collection, Volume 1 has been announced. We've already seen that they're going to be doing a remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, which I'm hyped for. I wasn't a massive fan of playing those games, but watching my brother play them, watching people on YouTube play them, I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise for watching it. Playing it, I'm not great at it, but Volume 1 has been announced for October, and it's going to include Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid Snake. I'm not sure if it's going to be the NSX version, the MSX version, sorry, or the NES versions. And it's coming with a bunch of upgraded content and bonus content. The only thing I'm a little bit unsure of, because I know that it's going to be like remastered kind of thing, upgraded graphics and stuff. It's not a remake of those games, it's just a remaster. Snake Eater's getting a remake, but it makes sense because Snake Eater technically is the first of the storyline in terms of the timeline. Snake Eater actually takes place, I think, in the 60s, as you play Big Boss. But the only thing I'm a bit unsure on is if the remaster of Metal Gear Solid 1 is going to be the Twin Snakes version that came out on GameCube, and it's going to implement the things that you could do on GameCube. And I know the GameCube Twin Snakes had some different cutscenes and things played out a bit differently here and there. So I don't know if that's the version they're remastering or they just remastering the PS1 version. From the trailer that I've seen, it kind of looks like, because you can do the aim and down scopes on the Twin Snakes version, that you could do on the GameCube. On the original PS1 game, you couldn't do that. So we'll see, but I am hyped for it. October the 24th, guys. Mark it on your calendar because it's a good day. Finally, it's coming. It's coming. Volume 2, I don't know what that's going to be. Some people are saying it's going to be Metal Gear Solid 4, Ground Zeroes, and Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, that's great. I think it might be those 3 games, and then Metal Gear Solid, as the bonus, they might do Metal Gear Solid, Portable Ops, and Acid. Yes, we know we got those games before on the PS3 and stuff like that, but I just think it's awesome that we're going to be able to play it on the PS5. It's even coming out on Nintendo Switch, which makes me think if they are going to do number 5, will that work on Nintendo Switch? Well, The Witcher worked on Nintendo Switch, so I can't imagine it not working. But either way, I am excited for this. Is it going to be a day one purchase? I don't know. My brother's hyped for it. I'm hyped for it. I can't wait to revisit it, and if not play it myself, but watch people play it on YouTube. I can't wait to revisit that and just experience those memories as a child, because those games were childhood. Whether or not I played them, they're my childhood, man. They've got some of the best boss fights ever, some of the greatest dialogue, some of the greatest cutscenes. It is just awesome. And the last thing I do want to mention before I go is the AEW game is finally out. I haven't played it. I've heard mixed reviews. I've not actually watched any proper reviews, but just from some of the comments, a lot of people are saying it's a fun game. It is a bit weird at times. It's not, for their first game, it is a good game, but obviously shows improvement, which I think is the best way to do it, actually. You know, if you're going to release a game, you know, your first game should always be good enough that people enjoy it and feel that they paid, they've got their money's worth, but at the same time, you know, go, right, well, at least when we know the next one's going to come out, all of these issues that we had in the first one should be addressed. It's not like WWE games, because I think the WWE games, they're not going to be beaten in terms of the graphics and stuff, because they're amazing now, you know, but AEW Fight Forever looks like it's just a throwback to the old SmackDown versus Raw games and the old No Mercy on the Nintendo 64, because it's made by the same creators, and Kenny Omega had a hand in helping this, and he's a big fan of those games. So you know that this game was made for fans of those wrestling games, and I think a lot of people don't get that. You know, people are saying, oh, the graphics are like PS2 graphics. Graphics don't make a good game, full stop. If you've got something, if you grew up playing those arcadey wrestling games, like I did, SmackDown versus Raw and stuff like that, I think you'll be a big fan of the AEW Fight Forever. And if you're a fan of AEW, again, there are some weird things I've seen, like the baseball and the mini games, but I suppose it's just a bit of fun at the end of the day. Why? Yeah, it's stupid when you look at it, but what's wrong with having a bit of stupidity every once in a while, you know? But anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. Just a little update on what I've been doing recently. Like I said, mainly Fallout 4, playing it. I say mainly. And then watching a few things here and there. Been watching a bit of wrestling here and there. Watching some AEW, some Ring of Honor, old school Ring of Honor. Because I've got the app back now. And then I've been watching some YouTube here and there. I started BoJack Horseman again. I know, my 3rd time. But I love BoJack Horseman. So tonight I'm going to play some Fallout 4. And then I'm going to watch some BoJack Horseman. And then during the week it will be back to the different thing each night. We'll see what happens and stuff like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Let me know, do you agree with some of these things in Are you looking forward to Fallout 5? Do you think Fallout 5 is going to happen? And even, what do you think of Fallout 4? Are you playing it? Have you played it? Will you play it? I say you should. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. I do apologise that I haven't done a video in a while. I was quite ill yesterday and the day before yesterday. Sorry, I and this week it's just been crazy. There's so much going on at my son's school. I think all of that stress made me really ill. I'm still not 100% now. I'm still aching a bit here and there. I'm keeping an eye on some things. If things don't get better in the next couple of days, I might have to go to the doctors and get some stuff checked out. But I'm a firm believer in, I won't burden the doctor with my problem unless I know that it's worth me checking it out. I know that's not a great attitude to have, but when I think about, all these people that go to the doctor over every little thing, and then you've got someone with serious conditions that could need to be checked out, and you could save a life essentially, so. But I digress. As always, guys, have a nice day, and hopefully I should be back with another video, possibly next weekend. And as always, take care.